This video is being recorded on the late evening of Sunday, August 27, 2023. So when you're watching this, it'll be Monday. Hope you had a great weekend. And in this video, I'm just going to briefly touch on gold and silver and the outlook this week. So just one chart. I just want to focus on the metals and not the miners. And so we did get the bounce that I was anticipating in the video that I recorded a week ago or so. And, I mentioned, we could have a potential little double bottom here, but, we'd get this rally and then, my bias, of course, always being conservative is, we'd come back down and not move that much higher. I mean, here you can see this is a potential double bottom. And so that's really the question for gold and silver. Silver, if you go back and look at the 400-day moving average, or if you're looking at a weekly chart, just look at the 80-week or the 82-week. On a monthly chart, look at the 20-month. And so this moving average over the last 20, 25 years has been very, very significant and quite often at turning points. And so this double hold of the 400-day moving average, is that telling us that now the market, it's held enough and that the bulls are going to regain control and that silver can eventually make its way back up to 25 and 26? I mean, I don't know in the very short term, in the immediate sense. I'm not sure at this point. So look, we did rally up here up to about 24 and a half. And so it you can see a bit of a pause, but this is just a daily chart, but here you can see the resistance here at about 24.50. This is a significant resistance zone on the daily chart. And also you have this peak here, you call it about 25 and a half. So this is a level where there's stiff resistance. And if you look at a weekly chart, I don't think we've seen a weekly close above 26.00. Maybe if you go back over the last 2 years, there might have been, maybe one here. And I mentioned this in other videos, but you do have this interesting setup here where it's kind of an unconventional, potential head and shoulders where, you have this here and down here, and then silver rallied back to 26. And so I would love to see if silver here could rally back up to 26. I mean, if it did that, again, obviously it's a master of the obvious statement, but if it came back to 26 for, a third time where you have one here and then two, and then here it tried to go below this, and it rallies back up to a third, that to me would be very encouraging, even if, it rallies up to 26 and then it, consolidates for months and months after that. So that's really what we're looking at. You have the rally, you have a good rally potential, double bottom here, but looking at the chart, there's stiff resistance that silver is really going to have to fight through here. Same thing for gold. Which you didn't have as strong of a move last week, but gold, here you can see a bounce above the rising 200-day. Kind of not the best finish to the week, but nevertheless here just above 1900. This is a potential double bottom. However, right around here at 1980, you have 2000 and 1980. Remember on the weekly chart, I think 1985, 1980 to 2000. That's very significant resistance. So that's the issue for the metals right now, is that there's not that much more room for them to move up in the short term before they test a significant resistance. So maybe, maybe you see gold move up to 1980 and then it, pulls back and consolidates for a while. And then, a month from now, we're doing the same video. Is it going to, break out here or, go down like this? Same thing for silver. So yeah, gold has this area to move up. Let's see if silver can make another push here. I would be surprised if it was able to push all the way up to 26. Maybe it can, push above this and try and test 25 and a half. Gold silver ratio, it's just kind of in a range. It's just going sideways. And it's interesting because, if the narrative is more stagflation than recession and you don't really have, so if the narrative is stagflation, that, potentially can favor silver more so than gold. However, if the stagflation narrative, if it's more of a recession, than stagflation. That's the environment where you will see gold outperform silver. But, nevertheless here, we can see, this is in a range. So we don't know which way it's going to break. Obviously, if recession risk really increases, then you have the risk of this moving up. Gold would outperform silver in that scenario. But again, last week, silver really outperformed. So, I can't make any definitive predictions this week. We got the rallied up to resistance in silver. Gold still has room to go before it could test this stiff resistance. But, that's where we are. And, this potentially just could be a market that, trades in a tight range for a little while. And it could be, it could take some time before we get that big move. But, even though, given the Jackson Hole comments, even though, the odds of a November rate hike might be moving up, the second or third order thinking, but, the first order thinking is, okay, rate hike, that's bad for gold. But if that brings a recession closer, that brings rate cuts closer. And so the second and third order thinking would be, well, the rate hike actually becomes bullish for gold because then they'd have to, cut aggressively if they pull the recession forward. But anyway, I'm babbling on here. I'm getting away from the video. That's all for this video. Let me know what you think in the comments. I'll talk to you guys again in the next video.